I feel like it's been a while, but let's go ahead and take a look at the newest set for Cardfight Vanguard Overdress / Standard Booster Pack 8 Minerva Rising. Unlike the last one, this set has actually been very favorable for me because today I managed to pull the card that I wanted the most from this set, which is the Silverthorn Dragon Tamer Lukier Secret Rare. It is so shiny that all the cameras that I use are just really hard to actually focus on it. I also managed to pull in the sneak peek one of the serial number cards, serial number 18. So I'm fully expecting this to be just as bad as the previous opening because I probably ran out of all my luck for the next 50 boxes. As you can probably already notice, this is actually the sneak peek mat for this set. And out of all of the sneak peek mats I've managed to get, this is absolutely my favorite, possibly one of my favorite mats. I think this is my favorite mat that Bushiroad actually makes so far. It just looks so good. But we have the box here. Set 8 Minerva Rising. In the back, you'll see we have still the units that are being represented in this set. They don't have Graham Grace, who is, of course, in this set as well. And they also don't have like any of the old guys from the old set 5 here, which I managed to have a box from. So all of these units here actually get support in this set. This is basically this set, but part 2, more or less. And the rarities are a little bit different than they were in that set, if we can see it here. So we actually have all 5 nations in Japanese. They actually had all 6 nations here because they actually had a special promo collaboration with the Hololive, Suisse, and Sakuramiku. Unfortunately, this was excluded from the English version, which is ultra mega lame. We have the usual breakdown here, you know, triple, double, R, and common, but we also have the special ones to this set. We also have some reprints of the plant and the Momoke token, but we have the new frame rare and double frame rare, which is something that was, you know, different in the previous one where we had hollows and then SPs, but now we no longer have SPs or hollows. We also have the secret rare, which was first in set 5, which you can only get from the God pack, but here it actually just comes in normal packs, which is, I guess, a little disappointing, but I got one, so I can't really complain too much. And finally, we have the serial number rare. This is Minerva that I showed earlier in the intro, where she has this serial number here. As you can see, I am gifted in having the serial number 18. It's probably better to put it down a little bit so you can see a little bit better. This means that it is a 100% billion unique copy of the card, because there is no other copy of this card, at least I think in English, that has this serial number 18, and that's kind of how these serials work. There's a couple of things that are kind of disappointing about these serials. Is that one, they were released in sneak peeks, so the higher number, or I should say the lower numbers, are already out there. If you were trying to get them, you miss your chance by a week, which is, you know, silly that it's in the sneak peeks. But also there is the fact that we don't really know how many of these there are. I think the maximum is 999, judging by how many, you know, zeros we have here. But I have yet to see anything bigger than about 150, so we'll just have to wait and see on that. And in case you're wondering, I think 0 and 1 have already been revealed, as well as 16. Someone actually posted it on my post when I did my 18. So they're out there. I think for the actual boxes, we're starting at about 100. Sorry, let's just actually get this going here. As usual, I ripped the thing. I don't know why I ever bother trying, because that's just what always happens. As usual, watch the Will Dress anime. And we got ourselves our packs here. Very excited about this. This set is something that I was very excited for, as I usually say, and I'm usually not so blessed. And I've been dying to like crack these open just to get, you know, a lot of the cards that are in here that are very cool, and that are for a lot of the decks that I like to play. We'll just bunch that up here. Let's just go ahead and get started here. The pack is, you know, the same as the box art. Has the Minerva, very pretty Minerva art. Has this nice, kind of like the channel colors. You might not notice it as well in the video. It's a little bit more, it's a little less bright, is what I'm trying to say. Let me see if I can fix that for you guys. Yeah, so it's not as strong, maybe washed out as maybe my camera makes you think, but maybe that's why I've gotten so lucky, because we have the same colors. Alright, so first up we've got the Vulcan Golem here. When this unit is placed on regular circle, put a normal unit with the same card name as any of the units in your drop on the bottom of your deck, and this unit gets 5k until the end of the turn. Put a normal unit with the same card name as any one of your other units from my drop to the bottom of my deck. Interesting. We got ourselves, as you probably saw from the box art, we have 2 encounters this time around, or actually 3. We have ourselves Minerva, as well as Lukier, and then we also have ourselves Maelstrom here for Aquaforce. Speaking of Aquaforce, we have Marine General of the Relentless Tides Algos here. This says when this unit is rode upon by a unit with only Aquaforce in its clan, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 unit card with only Aquaforce in its clan, or a Tear Dragon from among them, and call it to your circle, shuffle your deck. Then also, if this unit attacks, if it's the 4th battle of that turn or more, and if you have a grade 3 or greater Maelstrom Vanguard, then until the end of the battle, this unit gets 5k, and the ability that when it hits, you can draw a card. So it's an upgrade from the premium version of it, so the original version of it, where you have the Counterblast to do that. Then we have Enemies Dragon here. When this card is put into your soul by a card ability during your turn, if your Vanguard is a glitter, choose one of your Vanguards and it gets 5k to the end of the turn. I don't really know how that's ever really gonna happen. I mean, I know there are some cards that can put regards to soul, but presumably that's for chaos, obviously. But I guess that's fine. Then we have Magic of Purification Filpudi here. I wonder if that's supposed to be an E or something. I don't know. It looks very weird. When this unit boosts, if your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you may soul charge. I love cards that say may soul charge. Then next up we have Dimnus Fiend. When this unit boosts, if your soul has 5 or more cards, this unit gets 5k to the end of that battle. We're going to get our rare here in the Stroholt Whitehills. When this unit attacks, it gets 5k for until the end of the battle for every 2 research cards in your order zone. So typically maximum of like 10k. Then we have ourselves a double rare here in the Volcano Monster, Gokatera. When this unit is placed on regular circle, Counterblast 1. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards with the grade less than or equal to the number of research cards in your order zone and retire it. Interesting. I thought it was of your Vanguard. I didn't know it was all for your research cards. Okay. Then when this unit attacks, if your order zone has 3 or more research cards, this unit gets 5k to the end of the battle. So this is for Akrite, who we will hopefully see in these openings. Apple Witch Cider. It's one of my favorite cards from back in the day. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted. If you have a Vanguard with Minerva in its card name, you return this unit to your hand. Very good ability. And then when this unit is put on guard in circle, if your soul has a grade 3 with Regalia in its card name, this unit gets 5k until the end of the battle. So got a nice 10k shield that can bounce back to your hand. I love that card a lot. We got Fist Cannon Dragon, Dire Media Dragon. Back to Double Dragon, I see. When this unit is placed on regular circle, discard a card from your hand. Look at the same number of cards from the top of your deck as the number of different research cards in your order zone. Choose a card from among them, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. It's very interesting. It's basically Eva's first skill without the cost. Instead of the counterblast cost, you discard, but you also have to have different orders. You can't just have the same research card, so that's kind of interesting. We got the starter here, the grade 0 for Aquaforce in Officer Cadet Eric. And we got ourselves actually the starter for Lukier as well in Silverthorn Assistant Ilonola. Then we got ourselves a Calamity card. We'll learn more about these in set 9. Most people already know what these are for, but for now, they don't do much. But this is Ill-Omened Transmogrification. Play this with Counterblast 1, search your deck for up to 1 Calamity, reveal it, and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. So if you want to have a weird, like, deck thinning engine, you have access to that now in Brandgate. Or actually, no, these are Cray Elemental. I shouldn't say Cray Elemental, they just don't have a nation, so you can use this in any deck, technically. Just unfortunate that it's Counterblast. Then we got ourselves Tier Knight Emelos here. When this unit is placed on rearguard circle with your other grade 1 or less rearguard, so if you place 2 units, Soul Blast, or at least 2 units, Soul Blast 1, draw a card, and this unit gets 5k to the end of the turn. Not sure how that really comes out. Oof, yes, baby. Got ourselves the Omniscience Regalia Minerva here. I cannot wait to build this deck alongside Luke here. During your turn, if your soul has a grade 3 card with Regalia in its card name, all your front year units get 5k attack. Then, once per turn, you can Soul Blast 1. All these are Vanguard skills, by the way. Soul Blast 1 like the top card of your deck and put it on the top of your deck or into your soul. Then finally, at the end of the battle this unit attacked, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 3, and discard a card with only Genesis in its clan from your hand to stand this unit, and it gets drive -1 to the end of the battle. So that is why the Ciders were important, because you can boost her for the first attack, for example, and then return it to your hand and then discard it for the cost of Minerva here. But yeah, Minerva is really dope. I'm really glad I managed to pull another copy of her. Tier Knight Theo. When this unit is rolled upon by a unit with only Aqua Force in its clan, search your deck for up to 1 Blue Storm Armada card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. Then, during your turn, if you have a Vanguard with Maelstrom in its card name, this unit gets 5k. This is the grade 1 for Maelstrom. Next up, we've got Circulate Acrobat Ulseltahi. When this unit is placed on record circle from Soul by the ability of your Vanguard with Lucure in its card name, Soul Blast 1, Countercharge 1. Very nice skill. And we got ourselves the Coexistence Dragon. So in your deck, as well as on rearguard circle, if your Vanguard is a Glitter, this unit gets 5k -1 grade, making it a grade 2. So this is actually pretty decent for Thegria. Then we got ourselves the High Flight Conversion skill, Silberkis. When this unit attacks, if your order zone has 3 or more different set orders, Soul Blast 1, so you get 10k into the end of that battle. So this is somewhat a discount Combine Rusher, but you have to have different orders, so you can't play it as the same deck as, and then as many as the same decks as you can Combine Rusher. But we got ourselves the Momoke token here from set 5, which is let you retire any number of your rear guards to give this unit 5k for each one. Of course, it can't retire itself. And if you have your Vanguard as Aurora with Glitter, then your Relina, if you have a Relina in the same column, then this unit can attack on the back row. Gonna get ourselves the blue. No, this is actually different. This is Judgment Maelstrom. It's a Blue Storm Armada set order. I thought that was the name of this set order, but no, this is called Judgment Maelstrom. So this says you can only play this if you have Maelstrom as your Vanguard. Then, when it says put into your order zone, activate all of the effects below. Choose 1 unit card with only Aqua Force in its clan or a Teal Dragon from your drop and call it. Then you choose one of your rear guards and it gets 5k at the end of the turn for each of these cards, the Judgment Maelstroms you have in your order zone. Gonna get ourselves the Frying Shot Dragon Krumstego. When this unit attacks, Soul Blast 1, your opponent chooses 3 cards from their drop and binds it. If they cannot bind 3 cards, this unit gets 10k at the end of that battle. Pretty decent generic bind tool. I don't know if it'll actually see you play, because bind from your drop isn't as threatening just yet for everyone, but we'll see. Signpost Fairy, I think is a very, very good card. When this unit is retired from rearguard circle by your card's ability, if you have a Vanguard with Glitter, choose one of your grade 1 or less rear guards and it gets 10k at the end of the turn. So you can very easily eat this with Momoke. Give Momoke 5k from his own skill, then Momoke gets another 10k from this card, which is pretty huge. Here we have the Sleeping Protector Arkwright here, which is a new ride line for Brandgate. When this unit is placed by riding from Monster Soul Searching Arkwright, search your deck for up to 1 research card, reveal it and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. Grade 1, spoiler alert, does the same exact thing. And we got ourselves Fierce Attack Brave Shooter. During 4th battle or more of this turn, all of your units in the same column as this unit get 5k. So, decent little skill there. Speaking of which, here is the grade 1 Monster Soul Searching Ak right here. Has the best art, in my opinion. It looks so cool and so beautiful. I love it so much. I want to play this deck literally just based on this art for the grade 1. It's a shame you don't get to see it as much. Then we got ourselves Trapeze Actress here. When this unit is placed on Rearguard Circle, Soul Blast 1, choose one of your Vanguards with Luke here in its card name, and it gets 5k to the end of the turn. Then, when this unit is placed on Guardian Circle, if you have a Vanguard with Luke here in its card name, you can Soul Blast 1, and this unit gets 5k to the end of that battle. Not sure how I really feel about that. Then we got ourselves Hammer Breaking Knight Sadie here. When this unit is placed on Rearguard Circle by a card's ability, you can Counterblast 1, draw a card, and this unit gets 5k to the end of the turn. So this can work for either Graham Grace or Thegria, because both of them can call with their skill. We're going to ourselves a rare here, and the one who pursues the Proto Galaxy. Unit is placed on regular circle. If your order zone has 2 or more set orders, you can soul charge 1. And it says may soul charge 1. So maybe an Orphis or something like that. I can't think of any other Brancate deck that really needs soul charge. Then we have another one of the new ride lines that are in this set. The Arkwright from before is kind of like a counterpart to Eva, whereas this is actually a counterpart to Tamayura. We got the World Shaper Stealth Rogue Shoujo Doji. When this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 2 normal units with stealth in their card name from among them, reveal them, put the one of those guys that we revealed into your soul, call the other ones to Rearguard Circle, and then shuffle your deck. If you have a grade 2 or greater Vanguard with stealth in its card name, you can Soul Blast 1 and call this card to Rearguard Circle from your bind zone. There we got ourselves the Tsunami Brave Shooter. During your turn, if you have another grade 2 or greater unit in the same column as this unit gets 5k. So it kind of works decently well with the other shooter. Got ourselves Can't Quit Saki Stealth Rogue Shoji Doji. So got the starter. Got ourselves another Calamity card. This is beginning of the end. Does the same thing as the other one. Verbatim. Just counterblast 1. Search a Calamity. Add it to your hand. Got Sakura Romance Stealth Rogue Shoujo Doji. When this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle, look at the top 5 cards from your deck. Choose up to 2 normal units with stealth in its card name. Reveal them, put one of them into your soul, and bind the rest. And then shuffle your deck. And likewise, if you have a grade 1 or greater Vanguard with stealth in its card name, while this is in your bind zone, you can Soul Blast 1 and call this out to Rearguard Circle. So if you bind himself, you can actually call out another copy, which is kind of cool. Got Titan of Green Flow Patrol here. When your other unit stands by card ability, you can Soul Blast 1, and this unit gets 10k to the end of the turn. It's a grade 1. We've got ourselves the infamous Gracias Gradle here, which is a Regalia piece. You can see by the symbol up here. And this has the very unique ability in that it is another card that you can play in any deck, regardless of the nation. And you can only have up to 1 of these in your deck, and you can only use it once in a fight. So even if you find a way to recycle it, let's say as in with Zorga, you will not be able to use it if you've already used it. So this says if you have a grade 3 Vanguard with Persona Ride and you did not ride this turn, you can activate Persona Ride, draw a card, and all of your front row units get 10k for this turn, and it counts as a Persona Ride. So this is basically just used in basically any deck that can use Persona Ride as just an extra copy of the Persona Ride. So this is a very pricey card because of its very generic skill. So if you get one, hold on to it because it'll definitely come in handy. Marine General of Whirling Tides, Lefferdes. This card actually considered for Leonor in a little bit. When your other unit stands by a card ability, once per turn, you can Soul Blast 1. This unit gets 10k to the end of the turn. So if it's one of your rearguard stands, one of your booster stands from boosting Leonor, this guy can become a 20k booster. We got Cerulean, or not boosters, sorry, attacker. Cerulean Heavy Gunner here. When this card is discarded from your hand during your turn, If you have a Vanguard that is grade 3 or greater with glitter, Soul Blast 1, you may call this card to back row rearguard circle, and if you called, you cannot attack with this unit to the end of the turn, so you can't just move it up. So it just gives you a booster. It's basically a Wayward Therapy Angel, but for Brancate, specifically the glitters. Then we got ourselves Heavy Breath Wyvern. When this unit boosts a glitter, this unit gets 5k until the end of that battle for Dragon Empire. We got ourselves Rora's Inland Pulse replacement, more or less. We got the Full Bloom Dragon here. At the end of the, or rather at your end, at the end of your turn, if your Vanguard is a glitter, put this unit into Soul, call up to 2 plant tokens to your rearguard circle. So, similar to Inland Pulse, it refunds you the Soul. It doesn't let you draw, but it does give you plant tokens, so it definitely helps out Aurora more than Inland Pulse because, you know, you want your plant tokens. Got the Record Break Dragon. When your unit is placed on rearguard circle from your hand, counterblast 1. Look at the top 5 cards from your deck. Choose up to 1 card with a different card name from the cards in your Soul. From among them, put them in your Soul and shuffle your deck. For it being, you know, when you have to pick a unique card and being a grade 3 with a counterblast, I would have thought that at least you'd be able to pick 2 cards or something, but oh well. Then we got ourselves the Brick Gardener here. When this unit is placed on rearguard circle from Soul, if your damage has 4 or more face down cards, combine this unit and countercharge. So nice little option. Especially if like for something with Barrow where you call this out and you just have a bunch of stuff face down, you can, you know, late game just bind this, get some countercharge, use Kogroth's skill or something like that. Not bad. Ooh, yes. My queen. We have Silverthorn Dragon Tamer Lukier. So happy to finally pull one of these. I haven't actually pulled one except for the secret that I got. So this says on Vanguard Circle, you can counterblast 1, put a card from your hand into Soul, choose up to 3 units with different grades from your Soul, call them to rearguard circle. And if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, those called units get 5k until the end of the turn. So you can also use Brick Gardener with this as well. Then the second skill says at the end of the turn, put 2 rearguards into the Soul and you draw a card. Very simple, very nice, very good skill. And ourselves Return to the Other Shore. Play this if you have a Vanguard with Shoujo Doji in his card name. You and your opponent choose one of their rearguard circles, bind all cards on the chosen rearguard circle. At the end of the turn, put each of those cards bound by this effect in their hands. If both you and your opponent's cards were bound by this effect, put this card into your Soul, the order. Pretty interesting. It binds or selects the circle specifically, so it gets around resist protection, like stuff like NPIX, for example. Ripening Dragon. When your rearguard is retired by an ability during your turn, this unit gets 5k at the end of the turn, but it's only once, regretfully. Then we got ourselves the Spear Knight of Scales, Limzit. When this unit is retired from rearguard or guardian circle, if you have a Vanguard with glitter, you can put this into your Soul. So it kind of works like another version of the dolls, just without any of the additional skills. Universal Angel. When this card is discarded from your hand during your turn, if your Vanguard is a glitter, you can counterblast 1 and draw a card. That could work in Thegria. Ooh, finally. I haven't seen any of these. We got Ladies and Gentlemen, Rarimi here. When this unit is placed, when this card is put from Soul into drop during your turn, counterblast 1, and call this card to back row rearguard circle in the same column as your front row unit with Ririmi in its card name. Interesting that it goes with Ririmi instead of Rarami. But I guess she wouldn't boost herself. But in any case, then you have the Glitter skill, which is active if you have a Tamahiro with glitter as your Vanguard. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted all of your rearguards in the same column as this unit. Put all of them into your Soul. And if a unit with Ririmi in its card name is put into your Soul, choose one of your units and it gets 5k until the end of the turn. Putting the Soul is mandatory. So what you can do with this is set up a column of dolls, swing in, put those dolls into Soul, give your Vanguard a nice 5k, then Soul Blast these 2 out, and then you can call out the 2 dolls and then call these in the back as boosters, which is kind of cool. Knight of Excision, Dio Ring. When this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle, if your Vanguard has only one clan, so blast 1, discard a card from your hand, choose a card with only the same clan as your Vanguard's clan from your drop and put it to your hand. So it only works if you're, right now, if the clan is Genesis or Paladin or Shadow Paladin. If your Vanguard has one of those clans, you can choose a card from your drop that has the same clan as that, add to your hand. Got ourselves another monster here in Windstorm Monster, Cyclogade. When this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle, choose a unit card with the monster and its card name from your drop, and you may put it into your order zone. Then, if your order zone has 2 or more research cards, this unit gets 5k shield when you put it on Guardian Circle. Not bad. Knight of Harrowing Fear, Dupe Hatch. When this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle from deck by your Vanguard ability, to the end of the turn, this unit gets boost and 5k shield. I originally thought this was Graham Grace support and was really confused, but I'm pretty sure this is Degger's support. Looks pretty cool. I don't know if it'll actually see any play, but pretty cool nonetheless. Then we got ourselves Abrupt Lever. During your turn, if your unit was placed on Vanguard Circle from Soul this turn, this unit gets 5k, including this unit. Includes this unit? What? During your turn. Oh, it means if this unit was placed from your soul. Okay, that's what it means. I thought it said something else. So yeah, so if anything is placed from your soul this turn, this guy gets 5k. Gotcha. Got the grade 3 Calamity here, and the Coming of Demise. We got ourselves a very Link Jokery card here in the Hardened Axe Dragon. When a research card is put into your order zone, retire this unit to counter charge 1. Ourselves the starter for Minerva, or just Genesis, in the Vivid Rabbit. And yes, we got ourselves the order for Luke here in Hurry and Join Silverthorn Serpents, which is of course what the mat is based off of. So this card can actually be played from your soul, and in order to play it, you counterblast 1. So my understanding is that even if you play it from your soul, you do have to counterblast 1. Or if you play it from your hand, you have to counterblast 1. If you have a Vanguard with Luke in his card name, you choose a rear guard against the ability that, when your Vanguard attacks, put this unit to the soul, choose a card with only Pale Moon in its clan, and grade less than or equal to your Vanguard from your soul, and call it to rear guard circle until the end of the turn. So essentially, you get an extra attack with this. It gives you a 4th attack. The first card you choose does not have to be Pale Moon, but the second one does. Got ourselves another rare here, another order for Genesis. Kind of funny that they're stuck together. Wisdom of Beginning that cleared the world. Play this with Counterblast 1. Draw 2 cards. Choose 2 cards from your hand. Call them to Rearguard Circle if the grade of each of them is less than or equal to your Vanguard, and discard them if not. So, interesting little pot of greed there. Stealth Fiend Koman. When this card is placed on Rearguard Circle from hand, Counterblast 1, choose a card from your opponent's bind zone, and you may put it into, or no, you may put it on the bottom of their deck. If you did not put a card, choose 1 unit card with Stealth in its card name with grade less than or equal to your Vanguard from your bind zone and call it. Not bad. So you can bind stuff with the Shotodoji skill, the grade 3 skill that we haven't seen yet, or the order, and then instead of it going to the hand, this will put it on the bottom of your opponent's deck, so you can basically remove it. Then we have ourselves Diverse Wildmaster Honoratio here. During your turn, if your soul has 8 or more cards with different card name, this unit gets boost and 5k. Then if your soul has 8 or more cards with different card names, this card can intercept and it gets 5k shield. Pretty decent card. Got ourselves Short Rest Akkarite here, which is the grade 0. One of my favorite starters for Brancate right now, because it looks really cute. Then we got ourselves Lightning Bullet of Dust Storm Sated. When this unit is placed on Rearguard Circle or Guardian Circle, if you have more Rearguards than your opponent, this unit gets 5k attack and 5k shield to the end of the turn, but it is unfortunately grade 2 with 8k. This is the Thunderclap Dragon. When this unit is placed on Rearguard Circle, if your Vanguard is a Glitter, so charged, and its unit gets 5k to the end of the turn. We got ourselves the Memor Ehri. When this card is placed on rearguard circle, if your soul has a grade 3 card, this card is just like really shiny apparently for no reason. Put a grade 3 from your hand into the soul. So if you already have a grade 3, put another one in there. Then you draw a card and his unit gets 5k to the end of the turn. Very weird. Gonna get ourselves the Silverthorn Assistant Irina here. When this unit is rolled upon by a unit with only Pale Moon for its clan, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card from among them, put it into your soul, and then shuffle your deck. And when this unit is placed on regular circle, if you have Lukia as your Vanguard, you may soul charge 1. And we're actually going to get ourselves the grade 3 Shoujo Doji here. Peak Personage. Stealth Rogue Shoujo Doji. So, he has the skill that says on Vanguard Circle, act once per turn, bind 2 cards with Stealth in its card name from your soul, choose 2 of your opponent's rearguard circles, bind all of the cards on those chosen circles, and your opponent puts those cards into their hand at the end of the turn. And then, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, you can counterblast 1, put 2 rearguards into your soul, choose a card with Stealth in its card name from your bind zone, call it to rearguard circle, and if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, it gets 10k. The unit called out gets 10k. So, decent little deck. Has some removal. Can definitely get rid of intercepts. It puts stuff back into your opponent's hand so they can trigger on-place effects again. You do get 4 attacks, and you do fill up the cost for the first skill because you put stuff back into your soul. So, pretty interesting. Oh, we actually got an FR of Honratio here. Very cool. Subliminate Lance Dragon. When unit is placed on rearguard circle, counterblast 2, choose 1 of your opponent's rearguard circles and bind all cards on the chosen rearguard circle. So, Dragon Empire actually has some generic bind from rearguard circle that doesn't, target units, it targets circles. So I feel like this might be pretty good. Fortunately, it is counterblast 2. Then we got ourselves the Silverthorn Marionette Lillian here. When its unit is rolled upon by a unit with only Pale Moon for its clan, you can soul charge 1. Or you do soul charge 1, you don't get to choose. Then you choose a card from your soul and put it into your hand. So if you soul charge a PT, you get to add that to your hand. When this unit is placed on rearguard or on guardian circle, if you have Vanguard or Lugia in its card name, this unit gets 5k shield and 5k attack to the end of that turn. Fortunately, this is only on place, so make sure you use it. Torrential Energy Research. This is actually a research set order, specifically for Akurite, but you can actually use this in Eva. When this card is put into your order zone, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose up to 2 cards with monster in their card name from among them. Put 1 of them into your hand and put the other one into your drop, and then shuffle your deck. Then in your order zone, you can rest this card, choose a card with monster in its card name from your drop, and then you can put it into your order zone. Akurite can actually then call it out from the order zone. Or actually, no. She calls it out from... Is it from order zone? I think it's from deck. I don't remember. Sword Saint Knight Dragon Graham Grace. We actually managed to pull it, which is really nice. If you've played Dear Days, you're very familiar with this card, but this card finally releases in set 8. We're supposed to get this card a little bit early. If the physical version of the Switch game actually got released, we would have been able to get this in the card, or sorry, in the box for the game. I actually managed to get the Japanese version of the Switch version, so I actually have a copy of this card in Japanese. But this says your Persona Ride also increases the attack of your back row units. Then you can counterblast Soul Blast 1, draw a card, choose a card from your hand, call it to back row rearguard circle. That's the end of the turn that you can attack from the back row, and it gets 10k. Then, at the end of the battle that your back row center rearguard unit attacked, you can put that unit into the soul and you draw 1 card. So that's a nice way of recycling resources and, getting some presents. Very cool card. Then we got ourselves here a Stealth Dragon FR here. Stealth Dragon Jakumetsu Arcs. When this unit is placed on rearguard circle from bind, Card having a lot of trouble focusing here. This unit gets 5k to the end of the turn, and then when this unit attacks, you can Soul Blast 1, choose a card from your opponent's bind zone, put it on the bottom of their deck. Not bad. Got ourselves the last pack here. I think we did pretty okay. It's definitely better than the Sets 7 opening, I will say that much. Getting Lukier and Graham Grace and Minerva is pretty much all I really wanted. Because those are the main decks that I want to build from this set. Got ourselves the Relentless Dragon here. This is a grade 3 that you can put into your soul to look at the top card of your deck and either call it or discard it. Maybe Hexorb support? We got the Iterat Automaton. When it's unit boosts, if your order zone has 3 or more different turn orders, the unit gets 5k into the end of the battle. We actually got ourselves the Witch of Frogs Melissa. This is the ride line in Minerva, the grade 1. When this unit is rolled upon by a unit with only Genesis for its clan, you can look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 2 cards from among them, put them to your soul, and shuffle your deck. Then when the unit is put from drop to soul, if you have a Vanguard with Minerva in its card name, you can call this card to rearguard circle. And if you did, you may soul charge 1. This card is great, because it's actually just free call. It is the back row, but it's still free call. Then we got ourselves the Dimness Fiend, who actually went over. That name sounds familiar. Got Shoujo Dojin. Then we got ourselves a Tear Dragon here, and the Shoreline Rise Dragon. When this unit attacks, if you have, or if it is the 4th battle of this turn or more, if you have an order zone that has a Blue Storm Armada, this unit gets 10k into the end of that battle, and at the end of that battle, put this unit into soul. So I think the order gives it 10k also, or something like that, so not bad. And then we got ourselves the normal version, triple rare, of the guy that we just saw, the Jakumetsu Arcs, and that's it. So overall, not a bad box compared to what we got last time. So I'm pretty happy with everything, even stuff that I didn't do and open on stream, or on this video, I should say. Very happy, still very happy with this mat. And if you guys are opening for set 8, hope you guys have the best of luck. Till next time, take care of yourself, play Vanguard, and have yourself a damn good one.